Hi, everyone. My name is Dominique Moore, and I am the graduate assistant for career development, and I specifically work with the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences and DE&I initiatives. Shingi, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Xin Yi. Right now, I'm one of the career ambassador in the Career Center.
Yes. And if you are here today, you are here for the What Can I Do with a Major in Statistics presentation with the Center for Career Development. So getting into what we'll be covering today, we'll just kind of do a brief overview of the major, some of the things that you'll gain from being a part of the major. Then we'll get into experiential learning, what that is, and what that can mean for you, some internship talks, postgrad options, and emphasis on options because you're not limited to anything. We'll talk a little bit more about alum and how to connect with them, and then end you all off with like a reflection question or ending note. So the first thing that we'll kind of just ask you to reflect on is, what does your major mean to you? Why did you choose statistics? So really thinking about what was it that kind of attracted you to this major specifically, and what you wanted to gain. So did you come into this thinking, okay, if I have a stats major, I can potentially do like data analytics in the future, or I can potentially work in sports in the future, or I want to do research, and all of that involves statistics. So what was it that really attracted you to this major, and what did you want to gain? So as we're going through this presentation, really keep that in mind as you're just thinking about the different things that we're saying. So getting into the goals and the skills of the department, this is not a full exhaustive list, but some of them are: the Department of Statistics really wants you all students to receive training in mathematical statistics and applied data analysis as you're going throughout the years. They also want you to gain, and you all will gain, problem solving and programming skills. You'll have the opportunity to participate in experiential learning, which again, we'll cover that a little bit more later on today. You'll gain a proficiency in both theoretical and analytical content, whether you're working with technical or non-technical audiences and formats. And then you're also just overall gaining transferable skills that no matter where you end up, no matter what you do, you're prepared for any type of functional area post-graduation. And again, we'll start talking about what those transferable skills are and how you can start thinking about that and putting that energy into your internship search, your job search, grad school search, and all of those things. So I'm going to hand it off now. Chingy, are you able to see this?
There's nothing. Yep.
You can't see what is experiential learning?
Yeah, I can see the title.
Okay, so getting into this a little bit more, thinking about what experiential learning actually is, just kind of like a broad overview. It's really just hands-on practical experiences for students to kind of gain some more insight and really think like, is this major for me? Is this career path for me? What do I specifically want to do with this? So experiential learning can look like a number of different things, whether it's research, job shadowing, jobs, things like that. So we're going to get into that next. So this next piece with internships, that's the first one that we want to highlight. We definitely are going to say that this is a great opportunity for you to really build those skills and actually see if this is what you want to do in the future. So the possibilities are really endless. You're able to work in different clinical settings, research labs, universities. You're able to work with analytics, marketing, and different things like that. And in a second, we will kind of go through how to search those internships up and find different opportunities that you want. Another experiential learning opportunity that you all can have is that research. So if you have any type of interest in research, if this is something that you want to do, you have the opportunity and the tools here at UConn to explore that. So with UConn, you have the Office of Undergraduate Research, and you can kind of go on that route, or you can also reach out to different professors who have research opportunities and subjects that you're interested in, and kind of just say, hey, Professor XYZ, I'm interested in the same topic, this subject. Is there any way, I can participate in this, or do you need help with this in any capacity? So you have those opportunities, and UConn offers a lot of different funding and conference opportunities for student researchers. And this is also a chance for you all to be published if that's something that you want on your resume and your cover letter as you're going into the next steps post-graduation. Another opportunity with experiential learning is campus organizations. I personally feel like this is one of the most slept on, but one of the greatest experiential learning opportunities for students. It's a very easy and convenient way to get things done. So you'd have a bunch of campus organizations that you're able to get, time with other students who are interested in the same things, and leadership opportunities as well. So different clubs that you all can participate in, especially as statistics minor. And this is not an exhaustive list. This is just some opportunities that I wanted to highlight, or the Honors in STEM Club, the Data Science Club, the Office of Undergraduate Research, as we talked about a little bit earlier. There's a club called the Women in Math, Science, and Engineering House. You also have TEDx UConn and other things like that. So you can start to get a feel of, is stats good for me? Do I want to do something else? Do I want to do something else in conjunction with statistics and things like that? So now getting into how to choose the right internship, there are definitely some questions that I personally say that you should start asking yourself. The first thing is definitely going to be, do I want or need a paid opportunity? I do recognize that unpaid internships sometimes can be a privilege. Not every student can do that, especially for an entire summer when you have other responsibilities. So start thinking about, do you need an opportunity that is paid? Would you prefer a virtual or in-person opportunity? I know COVID has kind of changed the way that we've done things, and a lot of companies are giving more of that flexibility piece and opportunities for people to do different things. So would you prefer to be in person every day, or virtual, or have those flex days and kind of a good combination of both? Also, should you explore gaining credit? So sometimes when a company doesn't give paid internships, they will sometimes have an opportunity for you all to gain credit for your internship. And you can kind of do that with your major or the Center for Career Development. We also have an internship course that's 1 credit that's available to students to enroll in there as well. And if you're thinking about where should you look for internships, we're definitely going to highlight Handshake, which I will show a demo of that shortly, LinkedIn, different career fairs, and Google. And when you're thinking about like what specifically to look for, think about who is represented in the organization, especially if you have certain identities that matter to you in the workplace. Think about, who works here, who doesn't work here. Also think about supervision. Do you want someone who's extremely hands-on as a supervisor, or do you want a project-based type of internship opportunity? Think about those professional development opportunities. Are you going to have a chance to participate in research, to work with different communities, to present different things, and gaining more of those transferable skills, which is the next portion, transferable skills that you want to gain. Think about, again, go back to that first piece. What do you want to gain out of statistics? What is of interest to you in the future? You don't have to have it all planned out. However, kind of getting a foundation of what you want to do sets you up for success, because then you can say, okay, I want to be a teacher. Let's think about those public speaking skills that you need, the research skills that you may need, the supervision skills that you may need, and things like that. So those are the things that will help you choose the right internship for you. And now when thinking about other ways to choose the right internship for you, again, going into the databases such as Indeed, LinkedIn, Handshake, and even the website of the companies that you're interested in, some keyword searches could be analytical internships, internships for statistics majors, statistics internships, research internships, data internships. Again, going back into whatever those pieces of the stats major that you want to focus are, putting those keywords inside of your search engine as you're doing that. And then the action steps for that is really just shopping around. There's always an opportunity for you. And I know earlier someone may have asked, is it too late for me to have a summer internship because it's April right now? So when we go into Handshake, you're actually going to see a lot of places are still hiring. You're not behind, even though it's April. A lot of deadlines are, approaching in about 2 weeks. So like the May 1st deadline to apply for some internships, and that is okay. You still have the time. Also thinking about, you need to always have a resume prepared. So coming to the Center for Career Development and starting to work on your resume and your cover letter and what that looks like and what you want to highlight on there so that you are one of the most qualified candidates for this internship. And then lastly, connecting with people on LinkedIn, which again, we'll talk about a little bit more when we get to our alumni section of this presentation. But when thinking about internships, I am going to kind of demonstrate how to look on Handshake. So when you're on Handshake, it's going to kind of look like this. And you're going to have different things pop up towards the bottom, but you're going to go to this tab right here that says jobs. Even though you're looking for internships in this particular moment, and you're just going to have this filter on for internship. And then once you do that, I'm going to say, let's look at statistics specifically. And personally, you can filter the location if you'd like. However, a trick that I would use is to not filter the location. And the reason why I say that is a lot of them will also still have remote opportunities, even if it's in another state. So like this first one that pops up, for example, you have a statistics intern for oncology biometrics in Maryland. However, it says it's in Maryland, but it is in a remote opportunity. And as you're going down into it, you see the company name, where the company is, the application deadline. So this one, like I said, May 1st is the deadline. So you still have time if you're looking for an internship. And it tells you when the internship would be. So, you'd end right before school starts. It is remote. It tells you about the role, the objectives, you get all of the description and things like that so that you're able to match up. Is this actually what I want? Is this giving me the transferable skills that I want to have? And things like that. But something that I think is the coolest part of Handshake, looking on Handshake for this, is this student section right here. So right here, it says, ask a peer about their experience at whatever company you're looking at the time, because it depends. And this way, sometimes you'll have UConn students a part of it. Sometimes you won't, depending on the company and the position, especially if it's a little bit newer. You're able to send a message directly to that student to ask them about their experiences and what they felt about their time at the company. So you can ask them, hey, what did you do during this time? Did you enjoy it? How has it helped you in your career now? Especially because, you have some students who've already graduated and are potentially in their full-time careers or in grad school. So you have that connection piece as well. And then again, it tells you more about the company as you're going into it. It talks about the alum from UConn who worked there. It gives you some reviews and other things. So if you did want to make this specific to Connecticut, you can, but here's one that is in Connecticut. It is remote. Also, it does have some in-person stuff. So think about, again, what it is that you specifically want, and you're able to kind of filter that. Do you want a full-time job? Do you want an internship? Do you have a location preference? Do you want to be in person or not in person? Think about those things. So now getting back into the presentation. We're going to talk about some post-grad options. And again, I know I said it already, I just want to reiterate that these are just options. You do not have to follow this guideline, nor do you have to follow what a traditional statistics major full-time job outlook looks like. You don't have to follow that whatsoever. So with the Center for Career Development, we have this thing called first destination data, which is where we kind of start polling and asking previous students and most recent alum, what are you doing after graduation, whether or not they have a full-time job, where that is, what field that's in, and also if they're going to grad school or if they're still searching for a job and things like that. So when you look at the first destination data from the Center for Career Development and LinkedIn in combination, specifically for the statistics major, some of the most common places that people are working in now are in biostatistics, applied statistics, and business analytics. Those are just 3 options. Again, you are not limited to those. So thinking about more options that you do have, graduate school is always going to be one that is an option. And when you're thinking about graduate school, I highly recommend you think about, do you want that gap year? Or do you want to go straight into school, especially if you're someone who did the more traditional route of K through 12 and then undergrad. Also thinking about the costs. And if you need like a graduate assistantship or if you want a tuition waiver and stuff like that. Also thinking about location and whether or not you want a remote, hybrid, or in-person option. Also thinking about specialized programs and if you want a specific type of degree, an accelerated degree, or a dual degree program. So start thinking about those and then, different areas of study that you can have with a statistics major going into grad school is continuing on with stats, thinking about data science, biostats, public health, business admin, and more. Other areas that you can go into are insurance tech or pharmaceutical company, being a representative or more of a full-time opportunity within those. Thinking about higher education and if you want to become a professor or a researcher or a lecturer, consulting firms, government worker, especially with that statistics piece and those analyzing transferable skills. Sports agencies, if that's something that you're interested in. Finance, a really, really big one that I kind of want it to be towards the bottom just because you don't have to go into finance just because you're a stats major. And then also data scientists. So when thinking about those action steps and how to start thinking more so about those post-grad options that you have, the first thing that I definitely want to highlight is visiting us at the Center for Career Development. I definitely recommend scheduling a career coaching appointment, and we'll kind of talk about what that looks like a little bit more towards the end. I'm also going to recommend that you all talk to your professors and your program directors. I personally love when students have informal interviews with these types of people, just so you can see different career trajectories and what people did with their statistics degrees and whether or not they went straight into the full-time workforce or if they, went to grad school or did other things that may be of interest to you. Again, participating in those internships so you can find that right fit. Because as someone who thought that they wanted to do one thing and then did an internship and realized that is not what I want to do for the rest of my life, you may actually realize that you want to do something else, or you want to figure out a way to combine statistics with something else. Another thing that you can do is attend the career fairs, our large ones each semester or the smaller ones. We also have like career nights, internship and co-op fairs, grad school fairs, and more. And then the next thing is talking to alumni. So when thinking about the benefits of talking to alum and really connecting with different people who have had the statistics major within UConn, the first thing is that you're literally able to connect with people who are pretty much close in age with you and who have similar career interests in different paths so that you're able to say, you know what, you're a great person. who kind of is doing what I want to do, I think we should connect. Another thing is they may honestly have some internship and job opportunities or even shadowing opportunities for you to kind of figure out more of that experiential learning piece and think about, is this for me? Is this what I really want to do for the rest of my life? Although you don't have to do anything for the rest of your life, but really figuring out what it is that you like and you love. Also, you're really creating your support network while you're kind of in the thick of school and the application processes for jobs and internships. I know that season kind of gets hard for students. So building that network and that support system with alumni is a great opportunity for you, just so you can have that extra support. You can have someone to talk to, someone who completely relates to you because they were there not too long ago. And then last but not least, you have that informal mentorship opportunities with people. So when you're connecting with alum, I really recommend knowing exactly what you want from them, knowing, hey, I just want someone that I can chat with to see if this is the major for me, or you worked in a company that I'm super interested in, can we talk so I can see if this is the company for me? Or even, you know what, you seem like a good person who would be a mentor for me, let's connect. And when you're reaching out, it can be as informal as, hi, my name is Dominique Moore, and I'm a statistics major currently at UConn. You have these specific skills or these specific experiences, or you were also a part of the major, and I just wanted to connect for a few minutes about XYZ, whatever it is specifically that you want to connect with that alum about. And just to highlight a few alum who have had the statistics major, and this is not an exhaustive list, this is just some people with some different types of jobs that I think it was cool to highlight. For the first one, you have Francis, who is a data support analyst. You also have Deja, who's an assistant digital operations person at Sony Music, which I personally think is super cool. Someone else who works at Travelers as a data scientist, an economist at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So getting back into that government agency. You have someone who's a principal biostatistician at a different company, another data scientist, but at Spotify in particular. So I think it's really cool to start looking at alum and seeing, did they participate in this internship? Did they participate in this club at UConn? Did they go on this study abroad trip? Did they have this opportunity? And really figuring out, like, what are the things that I can do to kind of get into their shoes as well? So when you're thinking about how can you actually find alum, the two biggest ways are LinkedIn and Husky Mentor Network. So in a second, I am going to show you how to look for alum on LinkedIn specifically. But Husky Mentor Network is a very special place that the Center for Career Development has on our website. And this is really where alum and other UConn specific people have said that they want to dedicate their time to students specifically and talk to them and give them career advice and help them through their time at UConn. So this is a group of people who have already said, I want students to reach out to me, so please do that. So this is a very easy way for you all to do that if you're a little bit nervous about reaching out to a stranger on LinkedIn. But if you're a little bit more comfortable with things like that, like me, there's another way, and I'm going to quickly show you that now. So when you're in here, when you're on LinkedIn, you're going to look up University of Connecticut, and you're going to see the home page. And once you do that, this tab over here that says home, my employer, about, you're going to click right here where it says alumni, and it's going to take you to see this. So you're going to see over 168,000 different alum, because not everyone is registered on LinkedIn. And as you're going, you can kind of see it has some filters. So if you want US specific alum, if you want NYC alum, Hartford alum, people that work at UConn, people that work at Amazon, people that work at Google specifically, depending on what you want, we may have a filter for that. But regardless, what you're going to want to do is look up statistics. And I like to put a year filter on there. I kind of like to do 2000 to about 2017 specifically. And you see how drastically down that number went. So now as you're going through it, again, you can filter this a little bit more for you specifically, but as you're going through it, you see PhD candidate in stats. You see people who are current statistics major, clinical data associate, people who are researchers, assistant professors, grad students, analysts, more research, data engineers, PhD candidates, and things like that. So as you're going through here, you kind of just want to say like, who actually matches up with what I want to do? So if you're somebody who, maybe wants to do that data scientist or consulting work, maybe Tanner Brooks is the person that you want to connect with. And again, sending that message is as easy as saying, hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm a stats major at UConn. Can we connect? Can we have some time to chat? A lot of people are pretty receptive at this. I haven't had any bad hits with this, so I would really encourage you all to think about doing this as well. So getting back into the presentation. So towards the end, some resources that we want to highlight from the Center for Career Development. Again, those one-on-one coaching appointments that we have. And what those kind of look like, you have 30-minute sessions with different career coaches that we have specifically within our office. And you can talk about, is this major right for me? How do I find a job? I have this interview coming up. Can we prep for it? How do I write this cover letter? And things like that. So having those career specific, those major specific conversations. We also have opportunities for you all to have your resume, cover letter, personal statement reviewed, getting prepared for those application seasons. Also grad school prep, figuring out, is this grad program right for me? Should I even go to grad school? Should I take a gap year if you want to have those conversations? Special networking and alumni events if you want to connect with people, career fairs, and even certificate sessions. And the last thing that we want to kind of end you all with is this call to action. So as it says, as you continue to choose the classes for your degree, really think about what it is that you want out of statistics. The major specifically can really be found in any career. Stats can be found in teaching, it can be found in journalism, it can be found in the sports field, it can be found in the medical field. It can be found anywhere. It doesn't just have to be engineering or just a math field. So really thinking about what you want out of this role. So that's the presentation. I am going to stop sharing. Does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask?